The Tides Foundation, alongside its affiliates such as the Tides Center and Tides Advocacy, oversees a nearly $1 billion budget aimed at supporting progressive causes. Through fiscal sponsorship arrangements, the organization enables groups to operate while keeping donor identities confidential, taking advantage of IRS regulatory gaps. Critics, including NGO Monitor President Gerald Steinberg, have raised concerns about the lack of transparency in payments for salaries, rent, and operational costs, which may obscure the involvement of foreign entities. Investigations have linked organizations supported by Tides, such as the Maximum Difference Foundation, connected to the Amin family, some of whom have ties to the Islamic Republic's former president Akbar Rafsanjani, and the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, to orchestrated protests disguised as grassroots movements throughout the United States and Europe. This has fueled scrutiny, as highlighted in the New York Post report on August 30th, 2024. Regarding the Islamic Republic's regime-linked funding for anti-Israel groups and campus activism, these revelations underscore the need for greater accountability as the House Ways and Means Committee probes these practices to safeguard trust in the non-profit sector, wrote Iranian Americans for Liberty on X. The Alawi Foundation is a key tool of the Islamic Republic's influence in the United States, using its resource to promote Tehran's agenda. One of its private school projects received $1 million in United States federal funding despite serving only 163 students. The DOJ must ensure stricter oversight of federal funds flowing to such NGOs linked to foreign adversaries, said Iranian Americans for Liberty on X. Despite doctors' recommendations, Manouchehr Bakhtiari, a pro-monarchist political prisoner and grieving father of the late Pouya Bakhtiari, remains denied medical leave. Medical commissions from Velayat Hospital in Qazvin and the Forensic Medicine Organization have stressed that Mr. Bakhtiari requires absolute rest. Yet he remains imprisoned in Chubin-Dar prison under poor health conditions. His wife, Sara Abbasi, revealed that after his health worsened and he was hospitalized, doctors confirmed he needed recovery outside prison. Repeated requests for medical leave have been rejected by the prosecutor's office. Abbasi also noted that Mr. Bakhtiari has been denied visits for 5 days. Additionally, following the annulment of Mr. Bakhtiari's 18-year prison sentence and 74 lashes in one case, jurisdictional conflicts led to the file being referred between courts in Karaj, Kish, and eventually the Supreme Court. Recently, the Supreme Court returned the case to Alborz province courts, deeming Karaj the primary jurisdiction. Mateen Hassani, an eye injury survivor from the nationwide October 2019 protests, shared a video update on his Instagram story about the ongoing treatment for his eye. In the video, he mentioned that an eye injection had been administered and the next steps for cornea treatment would follow in the coming days. Mr. Hassani acknowledged the challenges ahead, describing the upcoming days as extremely difficult. Kushan Khaled Pirzadeh, a pro-monarchist political prisoner, shared a recorded voice message from a phone call in prison, expressing feelings of loneliness and being forgotten. Previously imprisoned, Mr. Pirzadeh was re-arrested in August 2023 and sentenced to 5 years and 8 months in prison on charges of propaganda against the regime and assembly and collusion to disrupt national security. Paridokht Shojai, a Baha'i citizen from Kerman, has been transferred to prison to serve her sentence. On Monday, December 30th, Ms. Shojai began her 25-month prison term after previously being summoned to serve her sentence. She was initially arrested in July 2023, along with several other Baha'is in Kerman, and later released on bail. The first court session for these individuals was held on February 3, 2024, followed by a second session in early May this year. They were sentenced to fines and social rights deprivation. However, Shojai's initial verdict was mysteriously overturned, and she was later informed in absentia of a revised sentence: 2 years and 1 month in prison and 5 years of social rights deprivation. Her appeal was rejected and the original sentence was upheld. Mahvash Sabit, a Baha'i citizen and leader of Iran's Baha'i community, has endured severe physical and mental harm during her imprisonment, including spending 2.5 years in solitary confinement out of her initial 10-year sentence. She developed osteoporosis during this time but was denied basic medical care. Now in her 13th year of imprisonment, across 2 separate cases, doctors have detected a lung tumor during pre-operative tests for open heart surgery. The tumor linked to her previous imprisonment has caused fluid buildup in her lungs, which her deteriorating condition has made impossible to drain. Despite doctors' concerns, Ms. Sabit underwent heart surgery, but her lungs failed to recover, leaving her dependent on a ventilator. She has also suffered multiple seizures post-surgery, with undetermined causes, and remains in critical condition. Despite her dire health, Iranian authorities plan to return her to prison in the coming weeks, a decision that could have fatal consequences. Agricultural workers in Khorasan protest low wages and economic struggles. On Tuesday, December 31st, 2024, a group of employees from Khorasan Agricultural Organization held a protest outside the organization's central headquarters. The demonstrators voiced their frustration over inadequate wages and mounting economic pressures, calling for immediate measures to address their financial hardships and improve their living conditions. Oil and gas workers in Qajsaran, southwestern Iran, protest for fair treatment. On Tuesday, December 31st, 2024, employees of the Qajsaran Oil and Gas Company in southwestern Iran staged a protest demanding the fulfillment of their key demands. These include transitioning to direct employment by eliminating third-party staffing agencies, establishing an equitable system for wages, bonuses, and benefits, revising the job classification framework, implementing Administrative Justice Court ruling number 3188, and addressing unfair taxation practices. Retirees across Iran protest broken promises and economic hardships. On Monday, December 30th, 2024, retired telecommunication workers in Isfahan, Ilam, and Kermanshah held protests to voice their frustrations over unfulfilled promises and worsening economic conditions. In Isfahan, retirees demanded action from government officials to address their declining financial stability, criticizing unmet commitments and calling for immediate economic relief. Similarly, in Ilam, protesters decried the government's failure to follow through on promises, highlighting the devastating impact of rising living costs on their livelihoods. Meanwhile, in Kermanshah, retirees joined the nationwide wave of discontent, condemning the authorities for neglecting their duties and urging urgent reforms to alleviate their financial struggles. The protest underscores a growing wave of anger and dissatisfaction among retirees across the country as economic hardships continue to mount. Telecommunications retirees in Sanandaj protest against injustice and mismanagement. On Monday, December 30th, 2024, telecommunications retirees in Sanandaj staged a protest against economic hardships and what they described as systemic injustice and oppression. The demonstrators specifically called out the executive headquarters of Imam's directive, led by Parviz Fattah, the IRGC Cooperative Foundation under Imami's management, and telecommunications company CEO Jafarpur for policies that they argue have exacerbated their struggles and ignored their demands. Sunday, January 5th, a group of Social Security Organization retirees in Ahwaz held a protest and march objecting to harsh living conditions, violations of their rights, and rising inflation. Saturday, January 4th, a group of retired educators in Kerman held a protest, objecting the non-payment of 60% of their retirement bonuses after 15 months. A protest gathering by contractors and municipal workers of Mashhad took place at Shohada Square, objecting the lack of response to their demands. January 1st, a group of retired educators in Semnan province protested outside the Provincial Crisis Management Office, voicing their frustration over livelihood struggles and unfulfilled promises by the Islamic Republic's officials. A message from Iran. Long live the Shah is our identity. We are reclaiming who we are. Iran is our home. We will take it back and rebuild it. Long live Iran. Long live the Shah. Reports of Long live the Shah stickers being distributed across Iran. Door-to-door distribution of Reza Shah II images in Iran.